Thanks for joining us again today. We're going to talk about how to achieve happiness. So if that's something that you've struggled with in your life, pay attention, because you may find out that the solution to finding happiness is not at all what you think. Happiness is a goal or an outcome that I think all of us want in life. In fact, my belief is that our natural state is a state of happiness. And so that everything we do in life, we do it because we believe it's going to make us happy. It's going to help us feel better. Here's the problem though. We have a misunderstanding of what happiness is. There's a book called Acres of Diamonds, which talks about seeking happiness. And I'd encourage you to read that book. But oftentimes we're seeking for something and we really don't know what it is. So in life, we get conditioned to believe that happiness is the result of having what we want. And that if we don't have what we want, then we're unhappy, and then we behave in all kinds of ways to get what we want. But how many of you have experienced getting what you want and then still finding yourself unhappy? Or maybe you get what you want and you experience happiness for a short period of time, but it doesn't last. Why is that? Well, it's because that belief that's driving our behavior is an incorrect belief. It's a belief that is not based on principle or truth. It's a belief that happiness is the result of having something outside of ourselves or achieving something that we want in our life. But the truth is, happiness is a choice. And we can choose to be happy in any situation or any circumstance. And we've talked about that in other videos on our channel. But today I want to talk specifically about what does create happiness, and maybe looking at that foundational belief that we have of where happiness comes from. And I'll just use one example. So let's say that my belief is that happiness comes from being successful. And in my mind, success is creating a business, and a successful business. And a successful business is one that stays in operation and it produces income to support me and to support my employees. And the belief is that if I do this, then I will feel happy. Well, is that true? I may create that business and I may have everything that I want, but I could still find myself unhappy because there could always be something more that I want. So I want our business to become larger. We want to influence more people. We want whatever it may be, and that belief could keep me from feeling happy. Well, what if the opposite occurs though? What if I start that business and the business fails? Well, what happens to my happiness then? If my happiness was determined upon creating a successful business and the business fails, now I'm unhappy. Well, where does happiness really come from? So it is a choice, but it's also a byproduct or an outcome. You know, Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, he has a statement that says something like, happiness cannot be pursued, or the harder that we pursue happiness, the more elusive that it becomes. It says happiness is a byproduct or an outcome of, and what Viktor Frankl talks about is that all life is about meaning. It's about finding meaning in life. So happiness is a result of finding meaning. So we have to go back to, well, what is the real purpose of life? If the purpose is not about achieving more things or having more stuff in our life, because again, if that was what created happiness, then are we in control or out of control of our happiness? Well, we're out of control, because whatever we have in our life, we also have the possibility of losing that. And so if our happiness is because of having it, then if we lose it, then we're going to be unhappy. So I believe that we are in control of our lives, and we are in control of our emotional state, that we can choose to be happy. So if it isn't about things, and if it isn't also about achievement or success, what is it really about? And maybe we need to look at what is our definition or belief of success and achievement. If we move away from external things like getting all A's in school, graduating from high school, graduating from college, getting a promotion in our job, finding a person that we can have a relationship with. If we move away from those things and instead look at what is the purpose of life? Well, if the purpose of life is to become the very best that we can be, then everything that happens in life is an opportunity for us to learn and to grow and to become. Everything that happens has no meaning until we attach meaning to it. So if we're able to shift the focus from creating a successful business to learning and growing, then the reason for me to create a successful business is to give me an opportunity to learn and to grow and to find out more about myself. So as I'm creating that business, and if I am accomplishing what I want to accomplish, then that tells me that some of what I believe is correct, and what I am doing seems to be working because it's creating value out in the world for other people, which is allowing that business to succeed. But if the business doesn't succeed, does that still give me an opportunity to learn? You bet it does, because now I can look at it and say, okay, why didn't my business succeed? What is it about me and my beliefs that are not working? Can I identify some of the beliefs that I have that are not true, that are based on false assumptions and things that maybe I've picked up throughout my life? I can let those go. I can find a new belief based on principle and replace that, and now I can try again. But again, if I have a false belief connected to failure, that failure means there's something wrong with me as a person, then I may be afraid to try again, and instead I hold back and I don't learn from that, and I don't become all that I can become. So the way to find or achieve happiness is really to look at what is the goal of life. And the goal is for us to grow, to learn, to become whatever our potential is. And we really don't know what it is. Our potential is unlimited. And if we understand that, then we can continually grow. We can continually learn and apply the things that we're learning to improve. And when we make mistakes and things don't work out, it's still an opportunity to learn, which means in any circumstance, in any situation, regardless of what happens in our life, if we can look at the meaning that we're attaching to that outcome and forget about that, but instead look at what can I learn from this experience? What can I learn from this opportunity? We can truly be happy in any circumstance, in any situation. So go out and achieve your happiness and create the life you love. Thanks for joining us again today. Subscribe to our channel and visit our websites. You'll see them listed below. And if you're finding what we're sharing helpful, share it with your friends.